And then finally today, I wanted to do a video about what's going on with me, just because here on Skyrocket, this is gonna be my place. And I don't know that I am gonna want to like advertise this kind of stuff right now, but I did want to start chronicling my journey again because I'm pretty excited about some stuff that's been happening. And so those of you who are in the Skyrocket community know that I have been on a wellness journey for a very long time. If you go back to the MomStar channel, you'll see all like the juicing videos and like the juice fast, and you'll see the isogenics videos, and I think the 10-day cleanse, the Purium cleanse, like all that stuff that I, was trying to manipulate an outcome and solve a problem. And then at the end of 2019, I just let it all go. I was like, I read the Gabriel method, which completely shifted my whole consciousness around dieting, and I realized that that I had been loving myself not unconditionally. I had been loving myself conditionally, in that the only time I was worthy of my own love was when I was like being good, right? And by good, I don't mean higher good. I mean just like, well behaved, which is really different, because you can misbehave and still be doing what's, best for the highest good. I mean, you can ask Martin Luther King, or, there's so many, Joan of Arc, and like so many people who like were misbehaving, but were actually doing it for the highest good. But anyway, so I just realized that the roller coaster that I had been on around, dieting in order to get to a certain weight was toxic and was actually making my situation worse, and that I needed to let it all go and figure out what it meant to love myself. And so for a year, I only would do things if they felt like devotion to myself and to my higher self and to my higher power. And so I stopped working out altogether for a while. Somebody's about to come in, I think, but anyway, we'll keep going. I stopped working out altogether for a while, and this is the real. So if somebody comes in, they just come in, and we're just gonna keep talking. Stopped working out altogether for a while, stopped dieting altogether for a while, and started doing CrossFit 5 days a week, because for whatever reason that felt really good. It felt good to like start tapping into like my strength and like, what my body could do instead of what it looked like. And so all through the pandemic, I was doing CrossFit 5 days a week. When everything shut down, I was doing it at home, and I've like video of that I can maybe include a little here, but and I started baking like with really good, like real blueberries and, stuff off the trees. And I started using like natural sugars. I just didn't want to do any artificial sweeteners anymore. And then in August, I started feeling a call to move more. And so I started walking every day. I started walking 3 miles at the beach every day. And then we went to the East Coast to see family. My mother's 91, and so we wanted to see her and the rest of my family too. And so we took all kinds of precautions, masks, getting tested when we got there and everything else, socially distancing. And we went to go see family. And every day I walked. I walked in Central Park, and I walked in upstate New York, and I walked in Martha's Vineyard, and I walked and walked and walked and walked and walked. And it felt great. And I didn't miss not a single day. I don't think. Maybe I missed 1 day or 2 days or whatever. I mean, I didn't do it as like, you have to walk every day, but it was like every day I would wake up and the call would come of like, come walk with me. And so I did, and it felt great. I wasn't losing any weight, but I mean, no weight. I was losing like, maybe 3 or 4 pounds a month or whatever. But I wasn't really focused on it. And so by the end of the year, I was down like maybe 20 pounds, but still, a good 80 pounds higher than I would like to be. And in the meantime, I was getting all of my blood levels checked, my hormones, and my cortisol was through the roof because of so many years of just being like, just living a super, super stressed out life. And So I was, I added to my way that I love myself every day. I added meditation, which I was already doing, but I made it part of my devotion to do it every day. And I started taking progesterone supplements because I was like, my estrogen levels were through the roof, and, all this stuff. And I just, taking my supplements was part of how I was loving myself, and journaling and just doing all these things each day, drinking water. And halfway through the year, I started becoming willing with my trainer to look at my percentages, like my macros, and I started trying to hit the 40-30-30 macro percentages, but it didn't feel like, there were days where I didn't, and it didn't derail me. It just was like, oh, look at that, I didn't. Okay, well, today I will, and like kind of staying within a calorie range, and just like really, really built over the course of the year a solid foundation of healthy habits that were about loving myself, and were about, my devotion to like fulfill my soul's purpose, and not about wanting to fit into a certain size jeans or wanting to look a certain way in the external world. Like, those of you who have ever like come to see me either on YouTube or live at an event know that, like, pretty much like, this is it. I'm not gonna like have a whole bunch of makeup and have my hair done this way and that, and like wear designer clothes or whatever. I might if I feel like it, but I'm not gonna feel like I have to put forth some sort of image of like exterior whatever just so you listen to what I have to say. Like, if what I have to say resonates, then great, but if not, fine. Like, this is who I am, for real, for real. So, but still, like, I have the desire, like in my head, I have the picture of like how I look, I have, and I had even more than that, the desire to move the way I used to move. Like, I used to run marathons. I mean, not multiple marathons, but I used to run half marathons, and I used to play tennis, and I used to kickbox, and, all this fun stuff. And I missed doing it. And then, I had a little bit of a health scare a few months ago that got me to have like a total physical, and it actually got me to like sort of think about like my mortality and my husband's mortality, and we're not as young as we used to be. And so I got him to go to get a whole physical, and him getting a physical really motivated him to want to start doing like 10,000 steps and, changing his eating habits and stuff like that, which was awesome. Like, so different from times past where, I would want him to do it to support me or whatever. Like, I am so happy that he is feeling motivated to do whatever he feels like he needs to do or wants to do for his own health. So like, that was really great. But one of the things that came out of that was we decided to get a treadmill, and that was really cool. And so I started walking on the treadmill, and I found this series on the treadmill that was like a run your first 5K series. And long story short, like 3 workouts in, I realized that I could run like for 15-20 minutes at a time, which I don't know if it's because we have all these hills out here, or if it's because I was trying to run on concrete, or if it was just something in my head, but I didn't realize that I could do that. And you guys, I'm telling you, when the first time that I ran 15 minutes straight without stopping, I freaking stood on that treadmill and I bawled like a baby. I was so grateful. And I realized in that moment that that was really my big why. Like, that being able to run again, being able to just get on that treadmill and just run. Like, I'm a runner. I'm an athlete, and I missed it so much, and I don't think I realized how much I missed it. I should also mention that part of what I had built up into my devotional practice as like a daily practice was stretching 15 minutes a day, sort of yoga, but this stretching routine that my daughter got me hip to. It has this really cool music. I'll post the link to that too. And so that also, I think, helped me get my running mojo back. And then I met this really cool chick, and turns out she plays tennis. So I started playing tennis with her every Saturday and like really, really loving it. And I don't know, I just like all these things are coming back online that that are reminding me of like who I am and who I want to be and why, like my why of why I really want to shed this extra weight so that I can like move like I want to move in the world. And so then I had to check in with my naturopath, and she was like, yeah, your cortisol levels aren't coming down. Maybe you should do this HCG diet. And I talked to my doctor about it, and she was like, no, I'm not really feeling that, but there is this thing, OPTAvia, that you could try. And I was like, oh, I've done all those things. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And then I had been like reaching out to people this year just to kind of reconnect with people I'd worked with before. And in the midst of all that, somebody from my high school reached out to me. It turned out she was an OPTAvia coach. And she and I talked for like an hour when we finally connected, and she didn't really hardly say anything about it, but I knew like that she was doing it. But I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And then the final thing that happened was like this other woman that I know on Facebook posted like her before and afters, and she was an OPTAvia coach. Okay, so maybe this is some weird Facebook algorithm. I'm not even on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook since June. All I know is when things start like coming in again and again and again, it's time for me to like pay attention. And it's sort of like that story or whatever where the guy is drowning, and he's like, God save me, and this little like life raft comes by, and he's like, no, my Lord will save me. And then like a big boat comes by, and they're like, come get in. He's like, no, my Lord will save me. And then like a helicopter comes down, it's like hovering overhead, it's like, grab the rope. And he's like, no, my Lord will save me. And then he dies. He drowns and he dies. And he gets up to heaven, and he's like, God, why didn't you save me? And God's like, I sent you a life raft, a boat, and a helicopter. Like, what more did you want? And so for me, like, I don't know. I'm not gonna be so thick-headed that if something just keeps like boop, 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 I'm not gonna at least try and see if maybe it's part of my solution. And I don't think it's a coincidence that it showed up now after I've laid this really beautiful foundation and this relationship that I have with my CrossFit trainer, and so that it's hopefully going to be like just a nice to my lifestyle rather than any kind of diet type thing that I would feel like eventually I'm gonna like go back to eating the way I want to or whatever. So anyway, OPTAvia starts on Tuesday, and I would kind of like to come here, share with you guys how it's going. I'm a little bit nervous about it, but I also know that like I've been being prepared for this, and that I have been desiring this transformation physically for a very long time. And my experience is that desire plus belief equals manifestation. And I have had that experience in so many different areas of my life that it was bound to happen eventually. So here we go. 50 years old, ready to shed this 80 pounds, and I'd like to do it in front of y'all, transparently, authentically, and in integrity. And I'll just come back every few days or every week or whatever and let you know how it's going. So I'm probably not gonna share my pictures or anything, and certainly not going to share my weight, but I definitely will let you know like how many pounds lost, inches lost, or whatever as I go along, because I think this is going to be pretty cool, and I really would like to have a chronicle of it. Okay, I'm losing my mind. It's time to go. This is a very long video. Bye. I'll check in soon.